Hi, Algebra 1. We are on page 56 of your book. That's supposed to be a 56. 56. Okay, so we're going to go over some special cases. Now, you might remember when I multiply two things together that are everything's the same except for they have alternating signs. You just multiply the first and the last. Okay, so we're going to do that same thing with it going backwards. So first off, we have to make sure, is x times x a perfect square? Meaning, did I multiply the exact same thing together in order to get x squared? Well, I multiplied x times x, so x squared is a perfect square. Is 49 a perfect square? Yeah, because 7 times 7 is 49. So I'm going to say, well, I know that x times x is x squared, and 49 is 7 times 7, and I'm just going to alternate the signs. I could have negative and positive or positive and negative, doesn't matter. Taking a look at number 2, is this a perfect square? Well, 2x times 2x is 4x squared, so yes. Is 25 a perfect square? Yeah, because 5 times 5 is 25. And then just alternate the signs, so negative and positive on this one if you want. Or I could flip it around, doesn't matter. Number 3, this is indeed a perfect square. Oops, I didn't mean to put x squared, sorry. Because x times x is x squared. And what times what gives you 16? That's the same number. Yeah, it'd be 4 and 4. And again, you can alternate the signs however you want. Just make sure they have two different signs. 16x minus 1. Well, that's 4x times 4x. And 1's a perfect square because 1 times 1. Okay, so these down below, and I know, looks like your number 4 is different than my number 4, so maybe you should just cross that one off and change it. This one, this is done the same way we've been doing it before. Just, that's going to be 100. It's going to be a positive 100. What two numbers multiply to give you 100, add to give you 20, and it would be 10 and 10. So on this particular problem, you could say, well, 4x squared plus 10x plus 10x plus 25. Go ahead and factor out a 2x up from both of those. Middle sign comes down. Factor out a 5 from both of those. So that's going to give me that should have been a 2x right there, and a 2x plus 5. And so what you'll note about this one is this is what they call a perfect square trinomial, because the exact same two binomials are multiplied together. These are called difference of two squares. That's a term that so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 are called are difference of two squares. Okay, so I get a 3x here and a 3x here, plus 1, minus 1, done. That's really all you have to do about it. So as you walk through the assignment today, if you have two terms only, so x squared minus 9, x squared minus 16, 4x squared minus 25, etc., first thing you have to note is, do I have a subtraction sign in between them, and are the first and the last numbers perfect squares or letters? Okay, x times x makes x squared, so x squared is a perfect square. So just build upon that. The other ones, when you have three terms, so when there's two terms and it's a subtraction, this is called difference of two squares. When you have the three terms in this assignment, just do this normally. Okay, so if I had, say, something like number 9 is this, you're going to go ahead and multiply the first and the last together and just do it like normal, where you get positive 100. What are the factors of 100 that are both the same sign because it's negative, so negative, negative. In this case, it's going to be 5 and 20, so we'll just bring that straight down. And then factor out what you have in common. So this is the same stuff we've been doing. It's just on the difference of two squares, you have you only have two terms given, so sometimes you can identify it. Just so you know, on the difference of two squares, if I go back a page to these, This could have been x squared plus 0x minus 49. This one could have been 4x squared plus 0x minus 25. This one could have been x squared plus 0x minus 16. This could have been 16x squared plus 0x minus 1. And that way you could still do it the same way we've always been doing it. If you don't see these right away, just put a 0x in for the x term. When you have x all by itself, it's called a linear term. If you have x squared, it's called a quadratic term, if you remember back from naming. So the assignment for tonight and some other information, I think you can work on page 58 and 59 and try all of them, see how you do. You take the period to work on it. You need extra help. This week we're going to have a chapter test on Thursday, so come tomorrow we will start reviewing. We'll review a little bit more on Wednesday. And actually, we'll have the test on Friday. How's that sound? We'll do the test on Friday. And then there'll be more. So Tuesday this week is review. Wednesday this week is review. And Thursday this week will be review. And you'll be able to use your book on it. So make sure you have all these problems written completely out, that we work on the board. Ask me questions about it, but you can go ahead and take care of that. Have a nice day, everyone.